Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Mo Al-Hamadi and welcome back to thebusinesslounge.com. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about some of the different mistakes employees make when starting their own business. I don't know about you, but I realized pretty early on in my career that just working a 9-to-5 job and living from paycheck to paycheck was something I couldn't accept for myself or my family. So like so many others out there, I started to brainstorm and think of ways that I could start a little business with my wife. I was so naive and clueless to the things I knew after 10 plus years. But the bottom line is, the world of entrepreneurs and the world of employees are two completely different worlds. But most people don't realize this. A lot of people who hate their jobs think it's really easy to just start their own business and turn it into a success. Yes, that's possible to do, but there's nothing easy about it. So if you're one of the people out there who wishes to start a business as an employee and you want to do it right, then stick with me to the end of this video and I'll show you 10 of the most common mistakes employees make while starting a business. But before we do, if you're new to the channel, please smash that subscribe button for me and also make sure you turn on that little bell so you know when I come out with a new video like this and you never miss them. Alright, let's get started because I don't want to take up too much of your time today. So the first thing on this list of mistakes employees make when starting a business is planning to work less. I don't get this one at all. Why would you even want to put in less hours for something you supposedly love when you're completely okay with putting in 50 or 60 hours working for someone else, building someone else's dream? I don't know if I'm alone on this, but it makes no sense to me. Most people leave their job because they believe they're working too hard and that when they own a business, it means they're going to be working a lot less. Well, even though you may be working 60 hours from Monday to Friday at your job, when you start your own business, don't be surprised if you find yourself working 80 hours a week all of a sudden. And not just Monday to Friday, it's every day of the week. It might not be like this forever, but it could very well be like that for the first 5 or 10 years, or even more. Starting your own business usually means you become a slave to that business, and there's no way around it. There's too many things that go into running a business. It could literally take up all of your time to the point that you pretty much have no life. And I'm not saying this to discourage you, but rather to make sure you're ready for the challenge that you've put ahead of yourself. You need to be ready to work like a slave for your business because that's what your business is going to expect from you, at least for the first few years. The next mistake on this list is wishing you were in love with your business. Of course, there's so many entrepreneurs and business owners that love what they do, and that's why they could put in long hours and think nothing of it. But that's not always the case, especially at the beginning. As time goes on, of course, you'll start to gain more experience and resources to employ the people you need, and you can step aside if you like while they keep operations running smoothly. But that isn't likely to happen in the first phase of building your business. When starting a business, you're pretty much wearing all of the hats in a company at once. You're doing a million things from the big important ones all the way down to the smaller, less important tasks which you're more likely to hate if you're anything like me in any way. The only real consolation you get is knowing that if you keep at it long enough, eventually one day you'll have those resources to employ the people for those things. Don't joke or trick yourself into thinking you're going to go from a job that you hate to a business you're absolutely in love with. No, building a business is something that takes time and it's going to take you some time to fall in love with it as well. The third mistake employees make when starting a business is not reading about business. I think it was Mark Cuban who said small businesses don't fail because of lack of capital, they fail because of lack of brains. And honestly, it's unfortunate that most people don't read any useful or meaningful books or material after they leave school. And if they do, they don't do anything with it. There's nothing wrong with that if you're an employee who's content with their life and have everything together as planned. But starting a business is something else completely. If you've never been trained to start and run businesses, you can't do it if you aren't obsessed with learning how. This is why you'll never meet an entrepreneur who doesn't read regularly. Most employees make this mistake of starting a business without having that continuous business education. Get out there and go to your local library or get online and read about people who have built great businesses and companies and how they did it. Not only that, but they'll tell you all of the pitfalls they fell into and how to avoid it. So really not reading this stuff is absolutely crazy if you want to be a business owner. That's the only thing that can pretty much guarantee your success. The fourth mistake on this list that employees do is expecting success to come quickly. This is another one that I don't understand how or why people do. I mean, I understand everyone likes to have wishful thinking and doesn't want to be pessimistic, but you should also be realistic about your expectations. To be an employee is easy, and no, I don't mean to generalize and say all jobs are easy. Of course, there are some really difficult jobs out there that require insanely masterful skills to do. But what I mean by being an employee is easy is that you get hired for a job, obey all the rules and policies, even the ridiculous ones you know we all have wherever you're working, and eventually you get paid every 2 weeks or every month. Starting and running a business is something else completely. You don't get the success you desire and the results to show for it like a paycheck in 30 days, or even 3 months for that matter. It might not even happen in 2 or 3 years. If you really want to start your own business, you absolutely have to change your mindset and be willing to wait patiently for that success. Like I said, as an employee, those paychecks will continue to come in every month as reward for your hard work. But the same can't be said for the hard work you put in towards your business at the start. Just keep that in mind. Success doesn't come that quickly. Alright, let's keep this list moving. This is a quick one. The next mistake employees do when starting a business is not working with other people. Most employees or jobs don't require a team effort for you to complete the tasks that are asked of you. But when building a company, you can't go at it alone and try to play the solo game. Working alone as a solo entrepreneur will usually lead to you needing a job faster than you think. Like I said, most jobs can be done by individual people, but businesses are run by teams and partners. You need to learn and be able to build that team and work with others if you truly want to build a successful business. Okay, the sixth mistake on this list is wasting time. When you're an employee, you can waste some time and it usually won't matter that much. The problem is when you have that same mentality and try to start a business. Since you believe that wasting some time isn't really a big deal, you tend to carry that same habit with you when you're trying to run and build your own company. Unfortunately, there are too many things you need to be doing and worrying about as an entrepreneur or a business owner, like the other people out there who are trying to put you out of business. In other words, your competitors. When you first start your business, those 24 hours are the most precious things you have every day. And even wasting 5 minutes of those hours on something that isn't productive for your family or your health or your business shouldn't make any sense to you. Number 7 on this list of mistakes employees make when starting a business is thinking the product is the most important thing. A lot of people think that they know everything about the product their company sells, and so they start to daydream and think that they could probably do the same thing and start their own business. And some of these people sometimes get so angry with their employers because they feel they're being treated unfairly, and that leads them to seriously think starting that business isn't such a bad idea for them. They're wrong. Here's the thing. Any person can make a necklace or bracelet out of certain beads or stones, but selling those bracelets and building a business that brands, markets, and sells those same beads is where the real work is. Product isn't as important as you might think. You have to learn and understand marketing, negotiating, understand the human psyche, and business strategies that go into whatever businesses you decide to get into. This isn't something you just wing, and I'm not saying you have to have everything down and in perfect order for you to start your business, but I am saying you need to learn those things to give yourself a fighting chance to turn that business into a success. Number 8 is not willing to avoid the good life. Okay, so it doesn't take a genius to know that if you're working for free, you probably won't have a lot of extra money lying around. But the problem is when some people want to keep up with the same lifestyle they had when they were getting paid a nice fat paycheck every month. I'm sorry, but if you've left your job with the hopes of starting a business that you can build successfully, you're gonna have to forget the latest phone or those new clothes you want to get every month. In fact, you might have to sell off your car and maybe go live in a smaller or cheaper apartment. These are just some of the normal things you'll have to go through. For most people, it's a strange life and they won't understand it. But that's because they're employees who are good spenders and are okay with living paycheck to paycheck. They earn that money simply to spend it. But again, I'm sorry, if you want to start a business, you're gonna have to avoid that normal life for quite a few years. But the good thing is, I promise you, you won't ever want to go back to just living paycheck to paycheck. You just have to make those sacrifices and eventually you'll get there. The 9th mistake employees make when starting a business, and it's kind of closely tied to the previous point I mentioned, is not planning to work for free. Again, so many people out there are addicted to that paycheck to paycheck lifestyle without really saving anything each month. Unfortunately, a lot of these same people who have never worked for free want to start their own businesses. The problem is, guys, you probably won't make any money in your first year, and maybe your first few years for that matter. You might make a few dollars here and there to help feed your body and soul and make you feel like, yeah, you're on the right track and actually have something that might work, but chances are it won't be anything significant at first. That's why you need to learn how to work for free and put in that effort without expecting anything in return during those first few years. This is just a reality that you have to come to terms with, or you won't make it in the world of business. The last mistake on this list, although I'm sure there are so many more, is not having entrepreneur friends. Now, if you're an employee, chances are most of your friends and acquaintances are employees as well. The thing is though, if you get into the business world while everyone else around you is an employee with an employee mindset, chances are you'll end up getting discouraged, and it's for one simple reason. Those people won't understand what you're trying to do, and it might lead you to second guessing yourself and maybe feeling a little depressed about what you're doing. I'm not saying you have to cut your employee friends out of your life, unless of course they're actually getting in the way of you and your dreams. But you have to associate yourself with more people who have built businesses or are building a business just like you. These are the people who will encourage you and challenge you to be a better entrepreneur. You guys will want to bounce ideas off of each other and learn from each other's experiences. So the next time you have a chance to network and get to know people in business, especially more experienced ones in your industry, don't pass it up and be confident in yourself when approaching them. More often than not, if they're of the right mindset, they'll gladly help you along the way because other than having that knowledge to pass on, they should take it as a learning experience as well. Alright folks, that's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up so YouTube can share with more people looking for information like this. And also, it goes a long way in helping the channel grow, so I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done it yet, please hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn on your notifications so you know whenever I come out with another video. Until then, I wish you guys all the best and I'll see you soon. Ciao.